Also held a separate meeting with Chief Secretary and Police Commissioner of Delhi, during which Principal Secretary Home and other senior officers of Delhi were also present. So this is just to bring to your kind notice that these are the preparatory steps taken by the Commission so far for the Delhi elections. Bring to your kind notice. Summary revision has been completed and the final publication of the electoral roll. I believe CEO Delhi has already taken a press conference today in the forenoon in this regard. Your counterparts who are covering the Delhi beat, they would have covered it. But in any case, we are giving the figures with a press note. All arrangements for the final publication have been completed. Meeting of political parties and media briefing, etc. has been done at the level of CEO. There has been a net accretion of 1,87,161 electors during the service voters. I would like to report to you that, as you are aware, we have been carrying this EVP program throughout the country, electoral voter preparedness, and for Delhi, it started on 1st September and lasted till 15th October. So since there has been far more kind of door-to-door verification during this program, there has been more accretion also and some deletion also. As per the final roll, with 1/1/2020 as a qualifying date, there are 1,46,92,136 electors. Unless there is some further variation as per the CEO's today morning's figures, there are 13,750 polling stations comprised in 2,689 polling locations. We found during the review of the Commission that many polling stations are housed in more than a couple of polling stations in one campus. Maybe due to the local issues housed in non-availability of space or required space. So we have taken a conscious decision that all the DCPs and DEOs should definitely personally visit all the polling stations where a single location has more than 6 polling stations, so that they can properly see and certify for themselves or satisfy themselves with the exit and entry routes, etc. And that's already being done. They may have been doing it earlier also, but when we took the meeting, we made a special point to emphasize this. All polling stations in Delhi, being sound infrastructure, relatively speaking, have the assured minimum facilities as per the ECI guidelines. All booths are on the ground floor. Ramps, toilets, male, female and accessible. Medical kit and creche is being provided, will be provided. Election officials have been deployed as per requirement. About 90,000 officials will be deployed for the conduct of elections. All vacancies have been filled up and further strengthening has been done by posting and requisitioning officers. In fact, we told the Chief Secretary in our meeting with Chief Secretary and CP that anywhere if you have vacancy, you kindly make it a point to fill it up. Adequate strength of Delhi police personnel, CAPF and Home Guards will be deployed. As always, Shri Umesh Sinha, Secretary General, he has taken a series of meetings with the Ministry of Home, MHA officials. The Additional Secretary who looks after the deployment and all in the MHA, he was there in that meeting, and accordingly the detailings has been done. We have very rigid protocol now. We already had, but we have even more for election expenditure monitoring. And as you are all aware, being the senior election persons, that C-Vigil has turned out to be a boon for the citizen, because it's a tool of empowerment of citizen. And in every election, including in Jharkhand, we got so many kind of tip-offs from the citizens via C-Vigil. MCMCs have been constituted at the state and district levels. Media monitoring teams have been formed. Training has been imparted. Media will be briefed on a daily basis after announcement of election schedule at the level of CEO Delhi. Sweep strategy has been chalked out to motivate voters to increase voter turnout. Ironically, the turnout in states like Jharkhand, including the left-wing affected areas, and in Chhattisgarh earlier, including the most left-wing affected areas, has been far more than some of the what we call toniest constituencies of Delhi. Delhi is yet to come, but earlier say Bangalore, Mumbai, etc. It's for the media to kind of go into it in far greater detail and keep guiding us on that. As I said, facilities of ramps, wheelchair, all these have been provided, and we'll take care that we have collaboration with our NGO partners so that those who need to be picked and dropped are assisted. This pick and drop has been meticulously planned in collaboration with Delhi Integrated Multimodal Transit System, and an IT-based system for request handling and vehicle tracking is being developed. Each vehicle will have an officer duly attached, trained to handle a job. Pick and drop facility will be provided for all PWDs and senior citizen voters. Requests for availing the facility can be placed through BLO or helpline 1950 or CEO website. About 1,400 vehicles will be pressed into service depending on how many don't opt for postal ballot facility. The inability of persons with disability, senior citizens, and people engaged in discharge of essential services like railways, state transport, fire department, and many other services, which is a constant process of being revised. By the way, I'm sure you're already aware that on the recommendations of ECI, the Union government has amended Election Rules 1961 on 22nd October 2019, benefiting all these categories. A new concept of absentee voters has been introduced in the electoral process, which is a welcome change and enables those voters to participate in the electoral process who are not able to come to the polling stations. Details because of their specific physical circumstances or unavoidable reasons. The PWDs and senior citizens above 80 years can now either vote in person on the polling day or through postal ballot. To avail the facility of postal ballot, they have to apply in a new form, 12D, which shall reach the returning officer within 5 days following the date of notification of elections. After the receipt of such application, the elector will be issued a postal ballot paper, which shall be deposited in specified centers after recording a vote. In Jharkhand, a pilot was conducted in 7 ACs and implemented with facilitated ballot to 133 PWDs and 680 electors of above 80 years of age. All arrangements have been made for enforcement of MCC from the date of announcement. Screening committee under the Chief Secretary exists. The 24, 48, 72 hours enforcement following the announcement and preceding the poll has been planned. The urban local bodies have been sensitized. Of course, the moment we are sitting here and the MCC has already kind of now got into force, it will be a shock, surprise, or at least not a source of happiness to most of the people, which we don't mind. Master trainers have been trained. Hands-on training is scheduled. It was scheduled today itself. BLO training has been planned. On-site help desk arrangements have been planned. Workshops for political parties and sweep activities on the use of QR code, etc. shall be organized. Locker facilities will be provided at the polling stations for mobile phones. Catalogue of common errors was prepared. Number of EVMs is sufficient. VVPATs, EVMs, sufficient. FLC has already been done. Strong rooms and counting centers have been finalized.
हरियाणा के गृह मंत्री
Under Section 20B of the Representation of Peoples Act 1951 and plenary powers available under 324, Article 324 of the Constitution of India, the Election Commission appoints senior government officers, civil servants
हरियाणा
as observers. After the election is announced, the ECI will similarly appoint general observers, police observers,
प्रकट किया
and expenditure observers in Delhi also. Their contact numbers will be made available to the public. In the last couple of elections in the state, we also had to appoint in some states special police observers and special expenditure observers because of the issues of left-wing affected states, the local politicking incidents. We appointed similar observers in West Bengal, in Tripura, recently in Maharashtra, in Haryana, and now in Jharkhand. Delhi already has a kind of preponderance of all this personnel. I also spoke to Chairman CBDT. They felt that they have a heavy presence here, so they would probably not be requiring special expenditure observers. In any case, it is for the Commission to take a call as the time goes. The Model Code of Conduct shall be applicable for Delhi with immediate effect. It will be the responsibility of the CEO and all his colleagues to make sure that the same is rigorously implemented. Great emphasis has been laid upon effective monitoring and vigilance to detect the cases of MCC violation. Commission has directed effective use of IT applications to attend to complaints promptly. Suvidha, CVGIL apps have time stamping facility to ensure transparency. The illicit use of money, muscle power, alcohol and drugs shall be dealt with strictly as per law. Comprehensive arrangements for GPS enabled squads, static surveillance teams and checking at border posts will be done. Commission will also make a point to have another comprehensive day-long meeting with various stakeholders, as Commission always does before the elections. We seek your correspondence because your cooperation, because you are one of the most important stakeholders in the entire electoral process for the elections. Now I'll read out the dates for which you are all waiting, and I'll leave this too much data we have. We'll give it to you in the terms of this very brief press note immediately after the press conference. The notification will be issued on 14th January 2020, Tuesday. The notification will be issued on 14th January 2020, Tuesday. Last day of nominations is 21st January 2020, Tuesday. In 2015, the notification was issued on 12th January and the date of announcement was 12th January and the notification was issued on 14th. So there was a lot of criticism that candidates are not getting adequate time, political parties, etc. So in any case, now they are getting good 7 days to kind of finalize their candidates. Scrutiny of nominations shall take place on 22nd January, Wednesday. Last date of withdrawal of candidature is 24th January, Friday. Date of poll is 8th February, Saturday. 7th January this time was Friday. Single phase. Date of poll is 8th February 2020 Saturday. How can it be January? Today is 6 January already. Counting of votes shall be done on 11 February 2020. Date before which election shall be completed is 12th January or the time of notification, whichever is earlier. Sorry?
Repeat the last one.
12th February. Counting is 11th February. Counting is 11th February, Tuesday. After that, though, when all the results are out, there will be a notification, right? Number of days of campaign is 15. We have taken special care to avoid Sundays and as soon as possible, even Fridays because of the Jummah prayers. And this is the schedule. So now I am prepared to answer your question one by one.
सर एक सवाल है कि दिल्ली में चुनाव की घोषणा हो गई, आचार संहिता भी लागू हो गई। दिल्ली में जो हालात हैं, कानून व्यवस्था की स्थिति है, वो कितना
नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका राज्यसभा टीवी के इस खास कार्यक्रम ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट में।